of my services and what I will be discussing. So for those who are ride sharing, um, doing the ride sharing economy, meaning you're an independent contractor for Uber, Lyft, B&B, or any of these companies that is emerging, I want to offer a service of tax tips Tuesday. So every Tuesday, I'm going to give a tip of taxes in terms of how to file your tax returns. And as it comes closer to tax season next year, I want to go ahead and prepare you to go ahead and do tax returns and also how to approach the tax season. Now, let me first give a brief introduction to myself. I work for the Internal Revenue Service for over 10 and a half years. I have 20 years experience in taxes and business. I have an MBA degree from Capella University, and I'm a graduate of the University of South Carolina in Columbia. I'm an independent driver, such as most of y'all, and therefore, I know the ins and outs of what's required when it comes to filing taxes. Now, as we all know, if you're a 1099 or self-employed, no taxes are withheld. However, I want to show you ways to save on your taxes, proper procedures when filing and keeping tax records throughout the year. Now, it's October 25th, and as we know, Christmas, Thanksgiving, and all the holidays will be fast approaching. And at this point in the year, most people probably don't think about taxes until next year. So let me give you some tips. My first tip is to go to irs.gov. You go to irs.gov and you go and choose small business. Now, I'm still trying to learn how to go about trying to show you on my screen what I'm doing. But as I make more videos and get more proficient on making videos and video content, I'll go ahead and share that. So please be patient with me while I go about trying to control the screens. But anyways, number one, the first thing you want to do is organization. Organization, that means that one of the first things you want to do is you want to educate yourself, not rely on a tax preparer or your CPA or accountant, because they're only going to prepare the return based on what you provide to them. So you may say, well, my accountant does all those things. True, but they can only work for what they got and what you give them. Because if they don't have certain things and you give them your entire file and say, okay, here's all my receipts, those certain things are limited as a business owner or self-employed individual. But the one thing that we can control first is knowing how to go about saving for taxes and also what to do in case of an audit. But it all begins with record keeping. The first rule of thumb is record keeping. Not so much for the accountant, not so much for the CPA or any tax preparer or whoever does your return. It's for your own personal records. Because when you sign your tax return, you're saying that I understand, I reviewed, and I'm responsible for whatever's reported on the return. It's not the accountant. It's not Jackson Hewitt or it's not H&R Block responsibility about those tax returns. We are responsible for our own returns when it's all said and done. Now, one of the things you want to do first is make sure you keep proper documentation. And it doesn't require any fancy apps. It doesn't require any fancy software or apps, because let me tell you, I work for the Internal Revenue Service, and the IRS is not that automated. anything they request from you is going to be paper and it's going to be scanned. So it's nothing automated. There's no, their process is very antiquated.